Happy morning, children. Welcome back to the biology class. We have finished about tissues, plant tissues and animal tissues. Now let us further proceed to the next topic. Our next topic is the flower. As children, you know, flowers. When it comes to the plant body is mainly well differentiated into two parts. The visible part of a plant body, which is above the ground, we call this as shoot system. And the part of a plant body which is below the ground, we call it as root system. And therefore, root system is our roots are underground modified plant of a plant body. They are present below the ground, they are not visible. So roots are underground modified plant of a plant body. And shoot system further includes branches, leaves, flowers, is it? But now let us take example. Roots, leaves, branches, stem. These all are vegetative parts we can call. What we call vegetative parts of a plant body. Whereas flower alone is an reproductive part of a plant body. See, so now we can say that what is flower? How can you define the term flower? Flower is a reproductive part of a plant body. What is flower? It is a reproductive part because it involves in sexual reproduction. As you know, reproduction, plants are capable of reproducing by both the way asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction is most common in a plant body. Plants are the organisms who are capable of reproducing a new plant by both the way asexual reproduction is seen in plant as well as sexual reproduction. When asexual reproduction is seen in a plant, suppose a plant body is there, any plant, if that particular plant is reproducing new plant with the help of vegetative parts such as roots, leaves, branches, stem, then the type of reproduction is asexual. If a plant is reproducing new plant by the involvement of these parts, then we call that type of mode of reproduction is vegetative propagation or asexual reproduction. If a plant is reproducing new plant with the help of flower, then that is a sexual reproduction. So what we have to remember is asexual reproduction in plants takes place with the help of vegetative parts. So vegetative parts like roots, leaves, branches and stems are involved during asexual reproduction. And a flower is involved during sexual reproduction. So reproductive part like flower we are calling as reproductive part. So reproductive part like flower is involved in sexual reproduction. So vegetative parts like root, leaves, branches and stems are involved in asexual reproduction. Hope you are getting this. Understood? So what is flower here? Flower is the reproductive part of a plant. What is flower? It's a reproductive part of a plant which helps the plant to perform sexual reproduction. Look at this, children. I brought two flowers here to show you. You know this flower. See, in this flower you can see the long stalk which is present at the bottom through which we can hold the flower. We call this as pedicel. Above the pedicel you can see a swollen part here above the pedicel. A swollen part we call this as thalamus, and these green small leaves we call them sepals. What we call them? Sepals. Or above that sepals, these are petals, colorful. And here the male part and female part. This long structure, see, like this you can see. This is the female part, gynoecium. On the top it has like the stigma. Here it is a style. This part is style, and here this is a stigma. Here and down below here in this part, in the thalamus, this part is covered. This is an ovary. So where is the ovary? Ovary is suspended in the thalamus of the flower. Where it is? Location of the ovary, which is present in the thalamus. So this is a female part. We call it as collectively stigma, style, ovary. Collectively we call them as pistil, or it can be called as carpel. Pistil or carpel, or even it may be called as female part, or it can be called as gynoecium. See, the female part of the flower can be termed as female part, commonly we can call, or we can call it as gynoecium, or it can be called as pistil, or it can be called as carpel. So how collectively stigma, style, ovary, these three parts collectively forms a female part, gynoecium. So this is the female part. Around this female part, you can see like here. See here, these kind of structures, so very minute, small, which resembles like this. See here. Let me erase this. This is here. Along with this part, this gynoecium, pistil or carpel, you are able to see this kind of things in this flower. So this part we can call it as anther, and this we call as filament. So what we can say here, the male part is composed of two things, anther and filament. So anther and filament here collectively we call it as stamen. Here female part, pistil or carpel, collectively it is called stigma, style, ovary, it consists of. So stigma, style, ovary in the female part, collectively what we are calling pistil or carpel. So male part, stamen, is composed of anther and filament. Female part is composed of stigma, style and ovary. The male part is composed of, what is the male part called? Male part is called stamen. Or here we call it as female part or gynoecium. In a similar way, male part can be called here as androecium. So the gynoecium of a flower consists of stigma, style, ovary, and collectively it is called pistil or carpel. In a similar way, the male part, stamen or androecium, consists of two things. It is composed of anther and filament. The anther will be like this. Suppose children, a flower, it is a reproductive part. What is flower? It is a reproductive part which actually take parts during sexual reproduction of the flower. Based on this, which one? Now this we have come to know that this is a female part of the flower and this is a male part of the flower. Is it? See how the female part and how the male part. What are the further parts it composed? We are well aware of that. We know that, is it? So, if now this flower is there, this flower has both the things. Both the things means male and female part. In addition to these essential parts, what are the essential parts? This down below, a long stalk, pedicel, thalamus, sepals, petals. These are essential parts. In addition to these essential parts, this given flower has a male and female part also in it. So this type of flower are called complete flower. What we call? Complete flower. See here, let me write here. Complete this is an incomplete, and the third one is neutral. So children, these are the further three divisions, three types among the flower. These three types among the flower, how they are made? These three further types among flowers are made on the basis of presence and absence of this male part and female part. Suppose this given flower has both male and female part. We are able to see androecium and gynoecium both in the given flower. So we call this kind of flower is complete flower. The other name you can call it as bisexual flower. What it is? Complete flower can be otherwise called as a bisexual flower because it has both the parts androecium and gynoecium. So we call this as complete flower or bisexual flower. In some flower, what will be there? Only one will be there, either stamen or pistil, not both. Male and female, both the parts will not be absent. Any one will be there, either male part or female part. Such flowers are called incomplete flower or unisexual flower. Got it? Here the other name of complete flower is bisexual flower. Here the other name of incomplete flower is unisexual flower, bisexual flower. And the third type of flower, see children, these types of flowers are made on the basis of presence and absence of male part and female part in a flower. If the flower has both male and female part, then it is called complete. If a flower has lacking both, any one is there, either male or female. If carpel is there, stamen is not there. If stamen is there, carpel and pistils are not there. So likewise, any one will be there, either male or female part. Such flowers are called incomplete. And some flowers, they don't have male and female part. Then what we will have? Such flower will possess only accessory parts as shown here. See, look at this flower. Now this flower you can see, this long stalk, pedicel, thalamus is there, and these petals, sepals are there. That's all. Inside we don't find any male and female part, no androecium, no gynoecium. So this type of flowers are called neutral flower. And neutral flower are called neutral only. It has no other specified name. As complete flower have bisexual name, incomplete flower have unisexual name, and neutral flower are called neutral. How can we differentiate these three divisions of a flower? On the basis of presence and absence of this part, male part and female part in a flower. Are you able to understand? A flower has both male and female part in it. Male part of the flower is androecium. Female part of the flower is gynoecium. Androecium consists of anther and filament. Gynoecium consists of stigma style ovary. Stigma style ovary collectively we call pistil or carpel. Anther filament in androecium collectively we call as stamen. So based on the presence and absence of this male and female part, androecium and gynoecium, the flowers are further divided into these three divisions, these three kinds, these three types, such as complete, incomplete and neutral. Here we can call bisexual, here we can call unisexual, and neutral are called neutral only. So based on the presence and absence of this part, male part and female part, they are further divided into these three divisions. Just wait a moment, sorry, I will take a duster. Okay, let us continue. So this is based on the presence and absence of the male and female part in a flower. They are divided into three divisions. Is it clear? Now, further. See children, here, just before we discussed, this is an anther and this will be a filament, and it is collectively called as stem or male part or androecium. Is it clear, children? And secondly, here you can take female part. Here it is stigma. This is the style, and this is ovary. And here collectively we call them stigma, style, ovary. Here collectively we call them pistil or carpel. Pistil or carpel, or we can call it as here taken female part, or we can call gynoecium. Like this. Now here, the male gamete, how the gametes are produced? We are calling this as a male part and this as a female part. Further, how these male part and female part in a flower, how they produce the gametes. Now here, the male part, androecium, consists of anther and filament. The anther, here the anther has lobe like this. These are the two lobes. This is anterior and this is posterior. Anterior lobe and this is posterior lobe. Anterior. Two lobes are there in anther. Anther has two lobes, and both the lobes of anther, they consist cells. These cells present in the lobes of anther, we call them pollen mother cells. Which cells are present in the lobes of anther? Pollen mother cells. And the pollen mother cells present in the lobes of anther, they are diploid in nature. Which nature? Diploid. So here, diploid is represented by using a letter 2N. 2N. And here the lobes of anther has pollen mother cells. Which cells are present in the lobes of anther? Pollen mother cells. What is the nature of that pollen mother cells? They are diploid in nature. Here, the wall of ovary, as here the lobes of anther have pollen mother cells, here the ovary has a wall, and this wall of ovary contains cells, we call them megaspore mother cells. Megaspore mother cells. So here the lobes of anther contains which cells? Pollen mother cells. Here the wall of ovary contains which cells? Megaspore mother cells. As the pollen mother cells present in the lobes of anther are diploid in nature. Diploid means a condition, a cell which have two sets of chromosomes, and that is denoted, represented by 2N, a letter 2 small n. Diploid. Like this, diploid. A cell has two sets of chromosomes. Here the megaspore mother cells, they are also diploid in nature, as the megaspore mother, the pollen mother cells which are diploid in nature, which are present in the lobes of anther. Here megaspore mother cells which are present in the wall of ovary, they are also diploid in nature. 2N condition. So these cells, pollen mother cells which are diploid in nature, they undergo meiosis, reductional division. Who undergo meiosis, reductional division? The pollen mother cells which are present in the lobes of anther, and the diploid cells 2N becomes N, because as you know, meiosis, number of chromosomes are reduced to half. As they are undergoing meiosis division, the number of chromosomes reduced to half, and the diploid becomes haploid. How the diploid becomes haploid? Followed by meiosis, reductional division. They undergo meiosis, reductional division. Therefore, diploid pollen mother cells turns into haploid pollen grains, we can call. The nature of these pollen grain is haploid. See here, the number of chromosomes reduced to half. The diploid has turned into haploid due to meiosis, reduction division. Reduction division has taken place among pollen mother cells, which were diploid in nature. They undergo which division? Meiosis. And the diploid pollen mother cells have now changed as pollen grain, which are haploid in nature. So this we call as haploid pollen grains, we call as male gamete. What we call? Male gamete. In this way, male gametes are produced in a flower with the help of this anther. Here, as the wall of ovary has megaspore mother cells which are also diploid in nature, they too undergo reductional division meiosis. And due to this reductional division meiosis, here this diploid megaspore mother cells turns into haploid ovules. See here the ovules are formed from megaspore mother cells. Here the pollen grains are formed from pollen mother cells. The pollen mother cells were diploid, they undergone meiosis, reduction division, and they turns into haploid pollen grain. And here the megaspore mother cells present in the wall of ovary, they too undergo meiosis, reduction division, and the diploid megaspore mother cells turns into haploid ovules. In this way, the male gamete is produced, pollen grain we call. Here, the female gamete is produced, we call it as ovule. In this way, the plants produces male gamete and female gamete with the help of this androecium and gynoecium. The further process and various terminologies related to this will be continued in our next class. So we'll stop our session today here. Thank you one and all.